Welcome back, Code Champs, Number Ninjas, and Data Drivers, to the second episode of What Are the Odds? The show where we answer life's important questions. I was out treasure hunting with 4 friends the other day, and we found 100 gold coins. To split up the booty, I came up with a genius plan. We take turns proposing how to divide the gold, and then if half the crew agrees, we go with it. But if not, I get nothing, and the next person then has to make a proposal, and so on. To my surprise, the others loved the idea. "A democracy of pirates," said one. "A fair and logical system," said another. Even the parrot seemed to approve. So can you guess how many coins I walked away with? Well, it got me thinking. What if sharing your ideas was as easy as tricking treasure hunters? No sword fights, no mutinies, just a fork, some code, a few comments, and a pull request. Let's try it out. First, I fork ClojureCivitas, clone the code, open the project up, and add a namespace. In here, we can write some code. What a bunch of scallywags. The first person to make a proposal needs something that'll be accepted by the majority of the crew. If they fail, then the next person in line will need to make a proposal. If they fail, then it gets to the next person, and so on. So we should really start thinking about if there is just one pirate, then they would obviously want all the booty for themselves. So they would want 100 gold coins. Now, if there were 2 pirates, they are 1 vote of 2, so that's a 50% majority. They would propose keeping all the gold for themselves. And it doesn't matter what the other pirate says, they're not going to have a say in it. If the third pirate was able to make a proposal, they just need to convince Green Boots here that it's a better outcome than 0. So in order to get enough votes, Blue Thunder needs to assign 1 coin to Green Boots, which is more than he would get if it went to Red Rackham's turn. And so 1 gold coin is going to do it. So Blue Thunder can actually keep 99 coins and doesn't need to offer any to Red Rackham because their vote's not going to matter. They would have preferred to decline in any case. Now let's look at if Blackbeard goes first. Similar situation. Blackbeard just needs to get 1 other person to agree with them. And it turns out, obviously, Red Rackham would be the best person to target here because if Blue Thunder was choosing, which is the next in line, they would get 0. So we'll give 1 gold coin to Red Rackham and keep the rest, and that's enough to get a 50% majority. So we offer nothing to the others. And finally, if it were me making the proposal, I have to get 2 people to join. And fortunately, I know that if it goes to Blackbeard, Blue Thunder and Green Boots would both get nothing. So I just need to give them an incentive to vote with me and not give any incentives to anyone else. And that leaves me with 98 coins, which is the answer. Kind of a surprising answer, right? Because it sounds like a fair voting system, but in fact, because of the way it's structured, I can get the majority of coins. So let's just add a few comments. probably you can spot the pattern emerging here, and we could definitely come up with a formula to handle as many gold coins or as many pirates as we wanted to. But for the purposes of today, we're going to write some code to do it. So the basic pattern here is we just want to give one coin to the right person, which is just an alternation depending on whether the total number of pirates is odd or even. But the trick, of course, is that we want the final assignment to have whatever's left over instead of just one coin. Great, that seems to do the job. And I'd also like to see the output as a table. Perfect. I don't really want to show the output twice for these, so I'll just fix that up. So I converted those leftover data structures into Markdown, and let's just check real quick that it looks okay. Not bad. Good enough, I think. Let's send it. And create a pull request. And when that gets merged, it'll show up here. In order for it to show up as a post, we need to set a date on it. So we'll just quickly do that. I'm going to copy some metadata from another post that's already here, just because there's quite a lot of it. And we'll adapt it to this namespace. So the important metadata we want to change is the date, which today is June the 18th. And we'll update the title. We can add a description if we want to, or just leave that blank for now. Nice, that's all we need. So let's commit that. And we'll check on our PR. Yeah, we can see we've got the metadata there now. And once the PR gets merged, when the PR gets merged back upstream, it's going to automatically deploy it to the website. And then it gets published on GitHub pages. Here's the new post. Doesn't that look nice? And people can see the original code if they'd like to. I can also track who's reading here in these public analytics. Nobody's seen my Pirates one yet. So far, the most popular post has been by Sean Caulfield talking about transducers. I really like his article. It explains how transducers can be approached in a very sensible way that makes them possibly even easier than lazy sequences. I hope that you have an idea to share with me, so why not start a namespace and publish it this way? Until next time, keep on coding.